Oh my goodness. Just don't fall down the stairs again.
Yeah, I know. It could have been a lot worse. I could have killed myself.
Yeah? Was there anybody there with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not.
At least somebody was there, because if you'd been by yourself and got knocked out,
I know. That would have been bad. I gotta get one of those things, those buttons.
help me.
I can have it call you guys.
You're a little young for that.
Hey, you are who you hang out with. Ready?
Yeah, a majority of the ones that sitting up front will call at any time. Oh.
What's the odds? My brain, I don't have a simple Exactly. Do you have an Indian? Did your one grandmother have an Indian? A woo-woo? Not a red dot. Oh, okay. You're welcome to sit back here. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was there a transplant too? Oh, I didn't know that. And my daughter-in-law is.
Oh, really?
And my son gave it to her.
Yeah.
Good evening, the time is now 6:30, we're here at the Pine Ridge Clubhouse located area. Thank you, everybody, for coming. The time is now 6:30, and we're here at the Pine Ridge Clubhouse located at 4801 Lakeside Club Boulevard for the Pine Ridge at Fort Myers February Board of Directors meeting. The meeting is now called to order. Before we stand to recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America, I want to take a moment of silence to honor the memory of some neighbors who have recently passed. Jeannie Roy, Becky Montgomery, and a longtime resident, Nick Nicoletti. Take a moment of silence. Thank you. Not that often we have three beloved members that pass away in 1 month that I'm aware of. That I'm sure that they're all going to be missed. Touched everybody's hearts in many ways, and we had quite a turnout here at the clubhouse for Becky, which I was able to attend. I wasn't able to attend Jeannie Roy's memory. We now stand for the pledge of
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In Ann's absence, Eric will take roll call.
Bob Tolles,
Here.
Tom Trino,
Here.
Bill England,
Here.
Lori Blaze,
Here.
Bob Geisler,
Here.
John Mao,
Here.
and Ann Urban is absent.
Was the meeting properly noted?
Yes.
Thank you. Next up, we're going to have open forum. At the beginning of each board meeting, we will have an open forum for any owner who wishes to speak. Please indicate with a check mark at your name at the sign-up sheet, your unit number on the sign-up sheet, and your intent to speak to the board. The time limit will be 4 minutes per speaker. The board will make every effort to get you some response to your concerns before the next board meeting. All comments are to be addressed to the board and not to the audience. Do not shout out questions or raise your hand during the meeting. If you do so, you'll be called out of order. At the end of the meeting, we will take a few questions about the topics discussed. We want to keep an orderly meeting. We do want everybody to have a chance to speak. And like I said, please address the board. Eric, do we have anybody signed up?
Yes. First one is Barb Jacks.
Good evening. My name is Barbara Jacks. I live at 9540 Green Cypress Lane, apartment 16. My question is about elections, as to why we do not publish the total results of the election. I looked at the minutes, and the only thing that was listed in the minutes for January was the 4 officers. Bob was not listed. Also, the other 3 candidates, there was no listing of, how many votes they got. I think it's appropriate to know how many votes somebody gets so they can make a determination if they'd like to pursue running for the board again next year. I tend to get extremely upset when I go to the pool and I get numbers thrown at me from people that are not on the board as to how they know certain information. And again, anytime you want to know anything, go to the pool. Thank you.
Thank you. Eric, do we have anybody else?
No response.
So we get your response by the next meeting. The reason why we haven't published them in the past is because there have been times where people haven't gotten very many votes, and we didn't want to make anybody look bad. But I think you and I communicated, and I told you.
I hope at our age that we're old enough to accept results.
Merrill Redmore, Jerry Tuttle.
I'll be the big mouth. I was wondering if we could just get a status on the replacement for the light poles that came down during Hurricane Ian and have not been replaced. I know I'm someone who walks early in the morning and late at night when it's dark, and it'd be nice to have illumination.
I've got an appointment tomorrow with one electrician. We're working on getting somebody out here to do it as quickly as we can. That's one of the number one items,
Thank you.
obviously because of safety. Securing our perimeter, our perimeter and the lights, those are the priority items after the roofs. Vicky Franzen.
Keep it on the board.
Vicki Franzen, 4612 Blackberry. I'm a non-smoker now, but what happened to our smoking containers that were at both entrances of the clubhouse? I'm seeing a lot of cigarette butts
over there from people coming out from the pool, and on the other side,
What happened to them?
I don't, yeah, where are they?
Somebody take them away.
They're right here, right back there.
Maybe we just need to put them in the right spots.
Yeah, because there's none on that side anymore either.
So, we'll get together, you'll show me where the cigarette butts are.
Okay, thank you.
That's it, Mr. President.
Thank you all. First off, I'd like to welcome our newest board member, Bob Geiser. Bob brings a lot of knowledge and experience to the board, manufacturing, and so much more. So he's going to help round out this team, and I think he'll be a great addition to our team. So we have a few things that have been going on around the community. Everybody knows we have this dumpster situation. Eric and I were discussing that a little bit today with the recycling. We're going to look at the possibility of putting it at a different location and maybe combining it with the dumpster and the Treasure Palace items and put it all in one area. It would also add to the parking down at this end of the parking lot. We have discussed in the past the golf cart parking and so on. We have events down here and we'll have a lot of people turn out for them. We have parking along the street. You know, it's not really legal, but we're down here for a few hours and we've let that go on. We've asked people not to park on the grass when they do that, and I think they've been pretty good. It's been a well-organized event. I noticed during our party, we had a dirt pile. It's been there for a while, and we've used a lot of dirt in the tree planting, and it's pretty much come to an end there. I did have that dirt moved over to the side to make enough clearance for those that want to get through on a bike or a golf cart when we're hogging the parking lot, we'll say. So we don't want to inconvenience anybody, and we still want to have fun. So we're aware of that, and eventually that dirt will be leveled out. What bothered me more was the fact that the landscapers have kind of mowed around the two vegetation piles that are behind the shed, shrubbery there, out of sight, out of mind. They did take care of one of those piles. They got it out of there. The other one will be gone the next time they show up. We're all aware of, we'll say, the lack of performance from the changeover our landscaping crew. Bill England and Eric were involved in a meeting recently. Bill England probably has some comments regarding that. So we're aware of these situations around here, especially the pool heater, which we'll be talking about that also. We see a lot of activity in the pickleball arena. So we know that's a concern for folks here. Tennis is also a concern for others, and that's an official amenity of the community. We're not going to go and change the amenities of the community without a community vote. So we may have a questionnaire and ask some questions to the community the next time we do a mailing and get a sense for what the community is looking for. Other than that, I've seen a lot of damage from my travels working, collecting data for FEMA. We're just so blessed that our clubhouse stands, that our swimming pool didn't float out of the yard into the neighbor's yard. The roofs aren't turned into big skylights. $1 million houses on Upper Captiva were so drenched with water on the one side of the house. And although they had hurricane windows and were built to the most stringent codes, these houses were only 2-3 years old. They didn't lose any shingles. They didn't lose any siding. The windows are all intact. The water was so heavy on the one side of the house and the wind was so strong that the vortex created a suction in the house, sucked up water into the house and completely soaked their drywall and insulation. They even had to gut their houses. So we're very, very lucky that our community wasn't destroyed worse than it is. And we are making a lot of progress in the recovery efforts. So next we have the manager's report.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to hold off on reporting about the hurricane update and the pool heaters because those are on the agenda. So we'll talk about it at that time. But some updates, things going on in the community. The hallways in the condos are being soft mopped this week. We do that twice a year, every February and every October. Our fire extinguisher inspection is scheduled for the 1st of March. We're working on setting a date for the fire alarms, and I'll let you know when that's coming as soon as I know. The dryer vents cleaning that we do every year, I put some information about it on the way in. We clean from the roof of the multi-story buildings, the dryer vent stacks that are connected. If you want the interior of your dryer done and the hose and all that checked, we've negotiated a special price that will be, we're going to come and do the outside of the buildings on the 20th and 21st of March. And then on the 22nd, we're going to do the interiors that people requested. And we normally have it in April. I moved it to March, so a lot of the people that leave can still get it done. And it's quite a bit less than what it costs. It's over $100 if you call them on a normal day, and they're going to do it $35, I believe, for the condos and $65 for the villas. And what you want to do is call them and give them your name and Pine Ridge, and they'll set an appointment for the 22nd. But you have to have it done on that day. That's why we're able to get the deal. So make sure you call ahead of time and do that. If you want to have your inside of your dryer code, that's not required. That's optional. The company's called Lint Out, and the phone number is all posted at the mailboxes, and you guys got flyers on the way in. The bulk trash area, we're back to getting regular pickups at this time. One thing that we'll ask you to do, though, is don't put any glass or mirrors out there. When he picks that up with the machine, it just shatters, and we get glass and mirrors all over the floor. That stuff's got to be thrown in the dumpster, okay? Glass and mirrors in the dumpster, please. Another reminder somebody asked me to put out there is that the pool closes at 10 p.m. I guess there were some people out there a couple nights till almost 11. And if you don't have your watch, you're out there, you don't know what time it is. The music turns off at 9:30. That's your 30-minute warning that the pool closes at 10. Roofing repairs, we're still waiting for some roofing repairs, waiting a little too long, actually. But I think we ordered the light gray fascia and soffit to match what we have, And it took forever to get here. We were actually looking at different colors. There was going to be a mismatch, and of course it came that day in the mail. So they're going to be out here. They're scheduled the 20th for the whole week to be out here. And we're hoping we can wrap up everything during that week. And then from that point, we're going to have to shift our focus to re-roofing. There's 33 duplexes that have roofs that are over 5 years old, or over 15 years old, actually. And for insurance reasons and other reasons, those need to be replaced. Some of them even a little bit ahead of schedule. It'll help mitigate our insurance premium increase, and it'll also open community up to new buyers because there's regulations with the financing and the insurance, and they don't want roofs over 15 years old. So. And the values in the community have gone up so much. We're seeing units sell for just a shade less than 300,000, and these are all cash deals. These are not finance deals. If those roofs are redone, 396 of our units have roofs under 5 years old. 66 don't. So because of those 66, our policy, on a technicality, people can't get financed through a government-backed loan. And once that's corrected, it'll open up a whole new group of buyers who will be open to this place, and we'll probably see prices increase even more. I wanted to touch also on a topic we haven't talked about in a while, but the property to the south of us, the Habitat for Humanity property. Between the pandemic and then the hurricane, believe it or not, enough time has passed that they told us they weren't going to start construction until 2022 to 24, start planning until 22 to 24. Well, now we're in 23, so it comes up quick. There was another community that they were supposed to build before they start this one, and they haven't even started that one. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything to us. That's just a sign, a visual sign that we saw. So we're going to be touching base with them. Our goal, of course, is to protect the walking path and our area there around the lake and our access to our lake. We have some documentation from them from a couple of years ago when I was in contact with the president of Habitat that states they want to be good neighbors and showed us the drawings, and looks like they account for us and everything. But until it's finalized and signed, sealed, delivered, there's no guarantee. So we have to really follow up, be diligent on that. And next month, hopefully I'll have some new information on that. But at the very least, I'll have some drawings and things that you guys can see of what is actually being planned to go over there. That's all I have today.
Thank you, Eric. Bill, do you have a treasurer's report for us?
I do and I don't.
All right.
First of all, I want to start by thanking my fellow board members for electing me as this position of treasurer. I know it holds a lot of responsibility, and it'll just take me some time to get all settled into it, but with Eric's help, and Scott has also agreed to help on this too, that we should make it through all right. First of all, I'm happy to report that the treasury remains stable. I'm working, like I said, with Eric and Scott and our accounting team, which is Myers and Burkholz, to learn the policies and procedures we have in place in relations to the vendor payments. Some of our vendors are a little slow on getting their paperwork into us, and it's kind of thrown things back a little bit, but hopefully that'll take care of itself after a discussion. I think it is a very secure process, and we will continue the same procedures moving forward. After spending time reviewing the budget, looking ahead this year, we will encounter challenges related to our reserves. re-roofing that needs to be completed, and of course, the additional expenses that we incurred relating to the hurricane. We are going to do the best we can to work through these challenges and have a successful year. I had hoped to have our 22 year-end financial statement to share with you tonight. However, I received an email from Lori Sampson, which is a representative of the Myers and Burkholz company. And it says, basically, that's the reason why I said I didn't have all the news for you. So I'll read you what they sent me so that you can see that it's not our problem and our fault that we don't have this for you. It says, "Dear board members, please accept my apologies for any delay your association has encountered with turnaround time for your financial statement or any other request you have in our office. January is a very tough month for us in general, getting 1099s processed and year-end financial statements. This year we have had some additional challenges and from the effects of the hurricane, and this affects a majority of our clients. If you are one of these clients, we know how much more we could have been working on your behalf. Between the cash flow work, budget work, special assessments, and managers quitting, we have had our work cut out for us. Really nothing compared to the work you as a board members are dealing with. There are tax law challenges with respect to capital gain losses, and we are also learning and having to deal with our tax clients and consultants and consulting time that comes with that. The long and short of my communication is that I request your patience and understanding. My team and I are working as hard as we can to get it done. Thank you for your continued faith in our firm, and we appreciate the business. With that being said, I expect to have the numbers to share with you at next month's meeting, as well as an update on the association's collections on delinquent accounts. So we're not to blame that you don't have the paperwork in hand tonight. So I just wanted you to read that so it didn't show that we were just making up an excuse, that this is what they sent us to say, this is the reason why.
The check is in the mail.
Yeah, trust us. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. John Mao, you have a committee report, something to say?
I absolutely do. So that's how this is supposed to sound.
Deal, man.
There's a lot of people with bad hearing like me. Okay, so first, I'm going to have a safety and lighting meeting on Saturday, March 4th. Hopefully we'll know more about those light poles, and that'll be at 11:30 a.m. at the pavilion. That'll be the first thing. I'd like to talk about letting other people come through the gate. We have a multitude of people. They will remain nameless. They allow the people to drive up to the gate and then follow them in. So please, we cannot do that. Please give them your last name. Allow them to type it into the call box to the resident. I don't care if it's your aunt that's coming to play volleyball or bingo or coming to do shuffleboard. They can't be coming in because it just opens us up. We also had another incident this morning, or this afternoon, that a black Prius followed one of our residents in. We can't just keep letting this happen. We don't know if those people have any legitimate business here. So please, the gentleman was nice enough to come down and report it. We have a description of the vehicle, which I'm sure that I've already seen it once before. So I'll be doing a counseling session for that. Walkers, there's a lot of walkers in the dark hours. All the walkers should be wearing a reflective clothing or have a red flashing strobe light so somebody can see you. A lot of you just get up in the morning and you're as tired as I am, you just throw on all dark colored clothes. You go out, next thing you know, you're gonna be a victim on the side of the road.
And carry a flashlight also.
Okay.
Especially with some of the lights being.
Parking. If your car is getting a lot of heat and you're trying to put it into the shade, please park it in one of our overflow lots. You have an overflow lot down by Villa Drive, Villa and Lakeside. You also have another one in Green Cypress in the back there by the dog park. This will keep your car from being burned up. During this high season, when we have most of our residents from upstate and up north coming down, there's no parking for anybody. So please park in a place that has overflow parking, not in our lots. Bicycles. I know that we've added some more racks. So please, let's make sure that they're tightened up. And if you're not using it, please put it in your condo, your villa, whatever. Speeders. I'm sorry, it's a long list, guys. Again, if you see somebody speeding, I'm not asking you to track them down and try to handcuff them. Just give me a plate, call Eric, give me a plate and a description of the car, and we're gonna have to find people. It's that simple. I don't want to become that person, but if you're consistently driving a car recklessly, we have women that are walking their dogs, and you're going for those people and to try to scare them, that's not right. That is not right. So please, give me a plate number, give it to Eric, and we will have a longer discussion, or maybe even find that person. So, again, my meeting's gonna be Saturday, March 4th at 11:30 at the Pavilion. That's safety and lighting. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Sorry.
You didn't scare me, but you might have scared some people. But security is supposed to be scary, huh? We want
Safety.
I keep saying that.
Safety.
Safety. We want you to be safer and safe. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Lori, do you have a report for us?
Butterfly, I want to thank Michelle Locke for doing a good job looking after our butterfly garden. But I'm going to ask that you check with Michelle or with Eric before you remove or add any plantings to the butterfly garden. It appears a few plants have gone missing, which upsets the balance in the plan to attract and sustain various butterflies. And currently the butterfly garden is in need of some healthy milkweed as well as organic soil and fertilizer, now that most of the mulch in the middle has been moved aside. Michelle and I would be happy to pick that up if Eric and the board will authorize the expenditure. And Michelle is always welcoming of any volunteer help, but please check with her first. If you can't get a hold of her, get a hold of me or Eric, and we'll pass that message on to her. Landscape is outlined in our declaration of condominium dated 2013 under section 6, maintenance and responsibility. Paragraph 6.1.2 requires our landscape be maintained and replanted with at least 50% Florida native plants. Plantings done in 2022 and 2023 to date do not meet this requirement. Replacement plantings in the next few years need to be significantly more native to meet the requirement as mandated by law. What we do in our landscape today matters tomorrow. Recommendations I've made to the board and Eric, and which are included in the first phase of the 3 to 10 year evergreen landscape plan, are supported by documented research from the University of Florida Institute of Food and Agriculture, Florida Friendly Landscaping Science-Based Gardening Principles, Florida Native Plant Society, and Master Gardeners. I realize no one can force anyone to comprehend a message they are not ready to receive, but as a gardener, I have never underestimated the value of planting a seed. So I repeat this message again and again and again. Many people in our community have shared their invaluable knowledge of landscape, and many supportive volunteers have helped tremendously in the landscape tours and with the commencement of a landscape plan. We've reviewed our current landscape, talked to many residents about their ideas for a landscape, and I've worked and studied hard to initiate a 3 to 10 year evergreen landscape plan that could be adapted to changing circumstances such as hurricanes. Subsequent to the next landscape committee meeting, I'll email a copy to the board members, Eric, and any resident who is interested in this landscape plan. I'd like to thank all of those who voted for me, the community for their support over the past few years, and all those volunteered on the landscape committee. My primary mission has always been to protect the great community Pine Ridge is. Regretfully, effective March 3rd, I will resign from the board. I will offer assistance to my replacement on the board and landscape committee. The next landscape committee meeting will be February 22nd at 4:30. Thank you.
Thank you, Laurie. Tom? No, you probably have a little bit of the website.
Oh, yeah, we got new stuff. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for showing up tonight. It's always appreciated. And this is one of our primary forums for communication. We usually get 40, 50 people. Looks like there's about 40 here tonight. And usually there's 40 to 100 people who watch the meeting. And that's awesome. One of the things we're working towards is to improve communications even more here in Pine Ridge. And the goal has been to use this website to do that. I know it's been a long struggle getting us to this point. We now need to make the next move forward. The good news, bad news, the current privacy laws do not allow us to publish a directory on the website without permission from each member, each resident, to put their information on that directory. We just can't do it if you don't take the action to do it. And I'm imploring people, go on there, sign up. It's a simple process. Once you're registered, you then need to go to your individual homepage, click on your name at the top, and there's a privacy setting there where you click the box to say, I'll allow my address, or I will allow my address and my email. I will allow my address, email, and phone number. You could select what you want to be published in the directory. But until you do that, our directory is going to fall far short of all of the residents here. We didn't have this problem in the past. Actually, all of the software, ours, our accountants, everyone's, is not even set up to allow us to publish a directory without that permission. So please, please, go on the website, and I'm going to cover some more of the details in a moment, but get signed up. Currently, out of 462 residents, we've got 48 people who have registered and appear on the directory to everyone here. Well, we need that to be as close to 462, at least 460 is what we're shooting for. So, and if you know folks who haven't, encourage them to do that so that we can use that forum. I know Eric is publishing everything that comes out, is also going on the website, but only 48 people are seeing it. So please, if you haven't signed up, do that. Okay, we sent out an email that went out today to everyone in the complex who has not registered yet. So if you have an email, you should have received an email today from Pine Ridge at Fort Myers. Okay, so open that email. It's not a scam. It's from us. And in there, we've tried to put everything in there so that you know that it's legitimate. And it'll ask you to click on the button, and the button will take you to a page where you set up a password, and you click to join the website. and you'll be registered on there. Then once you're on there, you've got to give permission to be on the directory. So you could be on the website and viewing all of the documents and everything, but you won't show on the directory till you give permission. So please do that. Secondly, there's a number of folks who don't have an email here. So letters are going out tomorrow. We printed them today. They'll be in the mail tomorrow to those folks who don't have an email and would have received this email that went out today. So even those that don't will get that. And they'll have an opportunity, if they have access to a computer, to go on individually. If not, they can come and to one of us, either myself or the office, and we'll get them signed up.
I was gonna just ask you that, Tom.
Yeah.
Maybe we could even get a couple volunteers and set a time that people would come down if they're having trouble getting hooked up on the website, and you could be here and I could be here.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Maybe Marcia, maybe Joe would help us too. And we could help people get signed up, because I know sometimes just that first time of getting on there is difficult.
Yeah, let's,
That would be a great help.
yeah, should we set a time tonight?
What we'll do is we'll pick one out, and we'll email it, both the old and the new, and we'll post it to.
Yes, I don't want to select something. We're going to set something up for during the week next week, and maybe we'll do it every week.
Yeah.
To do that, just have an open session. If 10 people show up, great. If one person shows up, great. We'll just help people to get that going. There's so much benefit from being on this website. We're going to be able to set up surveys. I know we just talked about calling people or trying to get input. We can have a survey right on there instantly, email, get a tally, within a day or two. All of the announcements that go on, there's a lot of community discussion. There's a classified ad section. We want to get that up and running. So if there's units for sale or for rent, can be on there. Also, if you're trying to sell that old couch, it gives you another place to put it up. Or ride sharing or airport ride. I mean, it's endless what we can do with this.
If you register your cell phone, you'll get text messages of some of the alerts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So anyway, that's my spiel is let's get everybody signed up on this. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. We have some old business. Hurricane Ida update. The community continues to bounce back. Yeah.
We're trying to forget about it.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Long day for me. Our claim with Heritage Insurance is in progress. Eric went to all units who reported interior damage with our insurance adjuster, and they photographed and documented the damage. This does not mean that the claim will be approved and that we are going to recoup any funds from that. We need to wait and see what happens. We're in limbo. We made some progress sealing up the fences and potential access points that could cause trespassers to come onto the property. Some of the larger items not yet completed, such as areas around the dumpster, seawall damage, gutter damage, and overhead street lights that are still out, among other things. The street lights are a safety concern, as John mentioned, and those are going to be replaced ASAP. We are getting quotes for those and other items to submit to the insurance company, and we'll start plans on replacement when we know where our claim stands. There are a lot of different pieces to this claim, and we may not recoup any damages, but we are going to continue to follow the process and take it one step at a time. Many contractors are fully booked, not accepting any new business. Everything is taking a lot longer on the contractor side. Overall, we could be in much worse position. I think that we're bouncing back from this hurricane very well. Would any of the other board members like to comment on the damage and repair process? One thing that we, you look at this and say, well, geez, nothing's happening, the fence is still down, the dumpsters are down. It's the insurance claim process. If we came in here on day one and cleaned up all the damage, there'd be nothing for them to look at. If we pieced everything back together, it's not gonna look as bad as it truly is. So that's part of the reason for the delay, along with just the natural process of an insurance claim. The other problem with contractors, there's good ones and there are bad ones. And you can just assume that the good ones are extremely busy. And the bad ones might be able to come to your house right away and do something. We're not gonna look for that kind of repairs or anything else. So we're gonna be very diligent in the process of hiring contractors, knowing that we're using known contractors that we've used before.
Just to add on that insurance part, some of the ancillary items that you wouldn't think, like the fences around the dumpsters and things like that, are things we added after Hurricane Irma that are named on the policy. And that's where we have an opportunity to maybe recoup some of the money over the deductible. On the big buildings, like I said, it's going to be very difficult for us to recoup everything because the deductibles are so high that it makes it almost impossible. But that's why we got to kind of go through that process, and we want to replace it with something better than what's there, but they would pay us based on what we have now.
I just want to add to that, if you don't care.
Yeah, I
about
appreciate it.
about the meeting that Eric and I had with the down-to-earth people that are doing their mowing and trimming and taking care of everything here. There seemed to be a problem that they've taken care of internally. They had a guy that was supposed to have been doing the oversee of all the people that's in here working, but that wasn't working out, so they got rid of him and they've got a new guy. I misplaced his card right off, but we had the accounts manager, which is that guy's boss here also. And he said the one that's taking care of their, all the trimmers and mowing and all that, this guy will be there when they show up. That's what, Mondays and Tuesdays, I think is when he said they would be here. He'll be here to start the day with them and make sure they get pointed in the right direction. Also, if you have a concern or an issue with some of the way they're doing the trimming or mowing around your place, let Eric know and he'll give this guy a call, because we've got his personal cell phone number, so he's not going to be able to miss the call. Give Eric that information and he'll make sure that it gets to this person on either a Monday or Tuesday and try to get those things addressed for you. Thanks.
One of the things that Bill and I had to reconcile with them was the mulch. They had overcharged us by $1 a bag for the mulch, like $3,700, $3,700 bags. So we got them to reduce it. We got them to
Plus the additional 720 bags charges for.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Pool heater update, which I know everybody is very concerned about. We know that residents are upset with the chilly pool. We get it. They're only working at 40% efficiency. This is due to 3 of the units having major components fail. The board previously approved the replacement of 1 heater. Since that time, 2 others have failed. Eric then, after much discussion with board members, we are always in communication with Eric. Eric approved the replacement of the failed compressor on the other 2 units. We want to get the process going, so At the vendor recommendation, we delayed the repairs a little so we could analyze the problem and investigate the root cause of multiple units going bad almost simultaneously. As a result of this, we will be installing more surge protection on each unit, and we have upgraded the electrical infrastructure that the units connect to with all new breakers and the dedicated panel. This company, Symbiont Services Corporation, is the only source for these geothermal heaters, and they say they're backed up on installing new units due to many customers finding themselves in the same predicament as we are. The two new compressors have been scheduled to be installed today on the 15th of February. However, yesterday, Eric called to confirm they would be here, and they delayed it till February 16th. As long as they show up tomorrow, the job for us at the end of the day, we'll be back to 80% on our heaters online, working towards 100%. 80% of the heat, full heaters should heat it adequately. The only exception will be on really cold days. I don't want to say anybody wouldn't want to swim on a cold day, because if the water's 88 degrees, a lot of people are going to want to go in there. So we do care. We aren't just trying to delay the process and put things off. We didn't want to do a repair, then have them fail right away. These are very expensive units. So upgrading, putting the surge protection on there, new panel, that should make a major difference. These units should last 10, 12 years. I believe is the life expectancy of those. If everything goes on schedule, they'll be here tomorrow. They'll be repairing them, and we'll have hot water in that pool again, which I know everybody is going to be thrilled about.
Everybody.
Again, we know it's an inconvenience. We get it, but it would be a tragedy financially if we just went through those units on there and then first lightning storm or something and they blow them all out again. So we need to protect the system that we're installing.
And that was actually advised by the company too. I said, if you brought the parts and fixed them tomorrow, he said, I wouldn't do that, because until we look into why that happened. And I'm sure it was voltage spikes during the hurricane, but new breakers, all that stuff, that's important, and the surge protection is very important.
We have some new business. The 2023 committee chairpersons on the architectural committee. That will again be myself, and Tom Torino is going to co on that. We don't want any residents to turn in an application for architectural review. Maybe they want windows or something. We don't want that process to be delayed on having to wait for just one person. The landscaping committee will be determined after we have some discussions, I guess. The budget committee, Bill England stepped forward. He really wanted to take charge of that budget committee. That's, as he said, it is a very important committee, keeping track of the finances and the well-being of the community. As we've stated before, Scott Harris did a great job for many years. We also feel that it's such an important position that we wanted to have a co-person on there, and that will be Bob Geiser. And he's more than welcome to jump in there with Bill England has taken care of the lake, is in touch with its needs, and he is going to continue to look after the lake and give us a report from time to time. Depending on how busy he is, that might not be every month, so I don't want to put him under the pressure there.
Oh, I'll get your report.
Good job. Then we have the amenities committee, which John and I got thrown under the bus there, we'll say. We're glad to do it. Amenities are a very important aspect of this community. Hannah Irving is going to continue on the rules committee. Website, Tom Torino. Bob Geiser is also going to assist on that with Tom. And then we have our big star of the committee, safety committee, John Mao. Before we adjourn tonight's meeting, first off, I want to thank everybody for coming. Greatly appreciated. Those of you that are watching at home, got a dozen extra seats here, so maybe next time.
So can I make a motion?
We're going to have a couple questions before we adjourn the meeting. We'll take a few questions from members regarding topics on tonight's meeting.
Come on down.
Come on down, yes. They're tag teaming.
Give me your sheet then. You told the president of the
What's your
social
name?
club.
Oh, you know what? You probably have a good point coming up.
We forgot the social club. Do you have an update for the
Yep, the
community?
president does. I have a question. Who is the social club board liaison to social club? Is it still John?
I'm not hearing.
Yes, I'll volunteer.
There you go. Hear that bus coming.
Thank you, John.
I think you can hear me, right? Yeah. Okay, anyway. Lots of activities. This Sunday is potluck, 6 o'clock. You need to sign up if you want to attend. The Bubble Buzz ice cream truck is coming in again on Sunday from 1 to 4. It was a success when it was here 2 weeks ago, so they're coming back, which is great. On the 25th, there's a dance party, 6:30 to 10:30 outside, weather permitting. Wine and Wine, which is the ladies whining and whining, I guess, on the 26th of February from 1 to 4. Karaoke on March 5th from 6 to 9. Book Club on the 8th of March, 6:30. Pine Ridge Day is coming up on the 11th. The sign I thought was going to be up today, but it didn't make it, I guess. I'll just give you a quick overview of that. It's $10 a person. You will get a burger and a sausage and pepper sandwich if that's what you choose. There will be veggie options, a veggie burger or chicken sausage. There'll be games, music, lots of fun. I'm done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks, Bob. My name is Tom Donahue. I guess I'd like to suggest a couple things for Tom Trino. First of all, I'd like to say thanks for taking care of the website. That is a big job. And I think nobody here understands how big it really is.
We can't hear you.
Is this thing on?
Yeah.
Plug right into it.
There you
Can you
go.
hear me now?
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Tom Trino for doing a really hard job taking care of the website. That's a really big job. I'd like to make a couple of suggestions. One is if you could put the members, the new members of the committees on the website as soon as possible, so we know who they are. Secondly, it would be really helpful to this community if we could have a real directory, so we know who one another are. If we want to look up somebody, well, I know that person's name is such and such.
We do have it. We have one.
We have one, but it's not completely up to date.
They just did it.
We just did it.
Just did one.
We just did the pictures.
We did.
Yeah. Did you get your picture taken?
I did get my picture
So I have
taken.
one for you too.
I'm sure it's in there. Okay. Good.
That may have gone to the post office.
It could be. Thank you, Robert Joy. Anyway, what was the problem with you're not getting permission for the directory?
If I can respond, to publish it online, you have to get them to check a box permission when they register for the website, and a lot of people haven't registered.
Okay. My suggestion is that we get I'll volunteer, but we should get a bunch of volunteers to come down and call people that are not registered and do it independently and just check it off for them as they're saying, yes, I want to do this, or no, I don't want to do that. But I'll be glad.
That's what we're gonna do. Next week, we're gonna set a time, I'll let you know.
Oh, okay, I'm thinking calling individuals that have not done it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The other comment that I'd like to make has to do with the treasury. A long time ago, in Stone Ages, I was a treasurer, and we were considering at that time changing Myers-Brett-Holtz and getting a new organization to do our accounting. We've had the same accounting organization for so many years, and things sort of deteriorate and people kind of get in a rut. And I know that I think they are in a rut. We didn't change it at that time because they promised they would give us a new person as a bookkeeper. I don't know if they actually have done that in the long term, but I'd like to suggest that you consider changing and getting another accounting firm. That letter that you read today is a good example of why I think we should get a new accounting firm. It's a lot of work, it's very difficult, but I think it would be good for the community to have fresh eyes looking at our financial situation. Thank you.
Just a suggestion on.
What's your name and where do you live?
4612 Blackberry Drive, Fort Myers, Florida. Since you're trying to get more people to register for the website, is there a way that it can be in alphabetical order by last name instead of first name? I mean, if I'm out and about and I want to call somebody and looking for Bob so-and-so, you're going through all the Bobs before you get to the name. And I don't understand why it's not my last name.
We can arrange that.
Thank you.
We've got two Bobs just sitting up here.
We're bobbing around.
Barb Jackson, 9540 Green Cypress Lane. I'd like to thank Lori for her effortless time on and on as far as
Okay.
I don't have to say my name now.
Say your name and
Say my
address.
name.
You still have to say it.
Okay, I have a
Into the
question.
microphone.
I'm not shopping for you
Say.
even now.
That's your side.
I do this, I'm gonna sing.
Okay.
I wanna know about,
Your name.
he just gave it, it's Kay.
And
And
what?
okay, Kay McAdowney, 4701 Lakeside Club Boulevard. Okay, I wanna know, what are we gonna do with the fountain? You
Which
said
one?
the insurance.
Which one? At the front entrance?
Yeah, you said about the insurance.
Yeah, I
but-
talked to the fountain guy today, actually, because apparently, well, some of our fountains in the lake aren't changing colors, so we want to get that color change going. And he's gonna get me a new nozzle, that'll make it look a lot nicer. He's gonna see what he has in his shop before we buy anything, and then we need to get a new pump for it, yeah.
And a
I
new
think,
motor?
I think the insurance is gonna buy us the pump, hopefully, but, so he told me to take pictures of it, send the serial numbers and that stuff.
How long will that take?
We could buy the pump before we get the insurance money, I think.
Okay, that'd be good.
I've
It's been
talked to
out,
the
it's been out for
trainer.
quite a while. It kind of looks like an eyesore. But thank you.
Hi, Michelle Locke, 4701 Lakeside. I wanted to also thank Laurie for all her hard work and her support for the butterfly garden. We're really gonna miss you, and the plan that you put together, I hope that the board will keep it in mind when they buy new plants. Also, I wanted to reiterate that, yes, plants are being stolen out of the butterfly garden. So please keep an eye out. If you see anybody in there other than me, they really shouldn't be there. You know who I am, and you can contact Eric anytime if you want to get in touch with me. And I could always use the help. Thank you.
Thank you. We definitely don't need them digging up the plant. Anybody else?
I have one thing. I'm just gonna give you a report on the lake.
I thought I avoided that.
It'll be short and sweet. Monday, I took a water sample out to the place where we have it tested at and picked up the results.
Yes.
The results back where we had just our phosphorus level is still just a little bit high. I asked him what causes that, and he says that's where the plants are decayed in the bottom of the lake, and they release all this other stuff, and it starts forming. It basically comes up to the top of the lake. Also, the turtles that we have in the lake, they cause some of this problem we have also. But overall, he says this is probably the third best lake that he or pond that he has that they take care of and sample watering. So overall, the lake is in really good shape. But if you have any concerns or questions about it, let me know and we'll get it addressed for you. Thank you.
Bob, I'd like to make a quick comment in answer to Tom Donahue's questions about the web. We're going to put a really big push on getting people registered. So you're probably going to get an email once a week promoting this. We're going to put signs up on the bulletin boards. And over the next month, we're going to put a huge push on it, see what we can end up with, and then we're going to actually call people. So that's kind of already in the works. But rather than call 300 people now, maybe we can get that down to 200. So that's the plan. Thanks, Tom.
Including long-term renters, when we include long-term renters, I've got some renters that have lived here for more than 10 years in a condo that I own. It'd be nice if their name was too.
That system's not set up to do that now, but I think we should be able to tweak it and do that. So I'll put it on the list. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom and Tom. Okay, with all the excitement and everything, we completely overlooked one thing, and we have traditionally done the same thing every meeting, and That is, do I have a motion to waive the reading of the previous month's minutes?
I'd like to make a motion to waive those minutes.
Second.
Have a second and a third. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Can I make a motion to adjourn?
Certainly can.
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
I have it, but it's, I don't think I have it on my. I don't think I have it.
Hi, Bob.
Front porch, I'm not ever. Of course.
You're right there.
Why watch?
We had a, 2 years ago. Oh, it's a natural barrier.
You hear a lot of things.
But he said they
Everybody don't hear the after discussion.
That's the best part.
Yeah. So you don't want to be in the directory?
Everybody going,
Yeah. Yeah. And